So niche down to blow up is terrible advice. And in this video, I'm going to explain why and what you should be doing in 2025 if you want to grow your YouTube channel. Now, normally I would be the first person saying that you need to niche down, and that all of these YouTubers in the past that were saying, don't niche down. It's a terrible idea. You'll pigeonhole yourself in terms of creativity and everything else. But we are seeing a change in the algorithm. And for a long time, niching down has been by far the best way as a beginner creator to grow your channel. But it's not that straightforward anymore. Things are getting better and easier for small channels on YouTube. YouTube is basically sharing out any channel that creates good content for the right people. And therefore, small channels are able to tap into massive amounts of free and recommended traffic that normally only really belonged to larger channels. Only they could reliably tap into that. But what you can do now is that you can get that traffic. YouTube does share out your content a little bit. But this is where things go a little bit differently, because YouTube, it's not so much sharing out your content as pulling your content towards people these days. So yes, you want to be niching down. You do need to obviously select a niche. So for example, if you are weight loss or growing on YouTube, that is your niche. But there are people within that niche and sub-niches of it. And you've probably heard this sort of sub-niche and find your sub-niche and everything else. But now it's really more about the individual, because the algorithm and the AI is so smart now. It can really see the overlapping things that people like, what they're interested in. It has their information in their demographic, their country. They can see the patterns, and the AI can work with that to be able to draw in content that it knows that they're going to like better. So yes, it still has some of the older way of sort of finding and pulling in content they think they might be interested in if there's not enough other types of content that is going to be more targeted to them. But if you want to get targeted, then you need to be looking at that avatar and that individual and looking at their goals. So if someone goes to a fitness channel to lose weight and they want to lose weight, so they type in how to lose weight and YouTube presents that to them, they're not going there because they want to work out and they want to watch your videos on working out. They're going there because they want to feel better. They want to lose weight. They want to look good. Maybe it's because they want to be able to play with their kids. Maybe they want to feel healthier and they've been sick recently. Maybe they just feel bad. They don't feel confident. They want the end result and the outcome. So you as a creator need to be speaking to that desire. So I speak to people on YouTube, and obviously now I'm starting to target more around my sort of age demographic, and I'm probably going to be speaking to more to people who are also wanting to have a life outside as an expat or living in a different country as a creator. So that's a particular desire that I may be leaning into. So I'm leaning into the desire to create a channel, to make money from it, and to be location independent and to have the freedoms that come with that. So that is a desire. So they're not necessarily creating the YouTube channel just because they want to, although a lot of people will be, but they're doing it because there's an end goal to it. It's a way to pay the bills. It's something to do with their time. There's a lot of other reasons that go into it. And for some people, it might be to grow their business, and maybe they want to promote their products and services. So that would potentially be a different audience. Maybe they want to generate leads for their business and everything else. So there are different people with different goals and desires that you need to tap into. So the really big thing that you're going to be wanting to do is to create your avatar. Now, I will put a link in the video description to where you can join our free community and get full YouTube training on creating your avatar and everything else. But don't run off quite yet. Again, the link's in the video description and it's completely for free. But what you want to be doing in 2025 is creating an avatar and understanding exactly who you serve and working out where they are, what they would be searching for, and what they would be interested in. So the niche is more around them and that goal. So if you were talking about, say, a baking channel, and you realize that most of your audience was mostly interested in either the cake side or the sourdough side, and you decided, okay, I prefer cooking bread and the sourdough side, so now I'm going to do that. Now you would think, oh, well, how many sourdoughs can I bake? But they would like everything around the sourdough cooking experience. They would want to hear your feedback on the different types of those steel cooking pans. I think they call them like a Dutch oven or something. Those pans, they would want to hear your reviews and feedback on the best ones of those, the best types of cooking equipment, the oven that you use, maybe you going to other bakers and reviewing their bread and sourdough and then trying to recreate it. There are so many things around the sourdough experience and the things that people should avoid, shortcuts, everything else. There are so many tips and things that surround that in the lifestyle of getting into cooking bread. So it's not just about baking sourdough. That could potentially be 1 to 3 videos, but it's everything else that surrounds that. And the same would go for weight loss. It would be perhaps doing the basic types of things, creating mini habits, generally trying to get your food under control, understanding what calories you should be eating and everything else. There's so many different things. And the same goes for YouTube as well. People are going to want to know about what cameras to use, what's working right now, how does the algorithm work, what are the best niches, how can I make money on YouTube? There's so many questions that come around that particular goal of things that people need to learn. But what we often do is we go for a broader niche and we start to look at the videos that are doing well for our competitors without thinking of the avatar that we're actually trying to target. So your avatar may not be exactly the same as somebody else in your niche. So this is what we need to speak to more. We need to stop thinking about the algorithm so much and what YouTube wants and start thinking about what our avatar wants. Because over the next 6 months, I guarantee you the algorithm is going to get smarter and smarter. And I think YouTube will do away with things like views and everything else. And I'm going to do some more predictions in coming videos. But I think we're going to see a lot of change and shifting happen thanks to AI and how it works with algorithms. So the algorithm should no longer be the algorithm. It should be people, human beings at the other end who are watching it, who have outcomes and desires that they want. Now, the next thing that's important to YouTube and how they kind of monitor how this is working, because obviously they still need to see how your channel is performing. The algorithm is not perfect by any stretch, and it's still just AI and it's still getting better. But how they're measuring this is not just by likes. Obviously, subscriber counts are kind of out the window now. There's vanity metrics. This is more of a bookmarking thing than anything else. So if you let your channel go dead, then your subscribers become dead weight. So it's kind of irrelevant. Everything is to now do with views, relevancy, and engagement, and returning people. So what YouTube wants to see is that you're getting engagement and that people are coming back. So they are satisfied. And how it checks this how it sees that people are satisfied with your content and your channel is that there are more returning viewers coming back to your channel and watching. So if you go into analytics, you can see the new viewers versus returning viewers measurement. And ideally, you want them both to be quite high. So if you're more of a search channel, you'll probably see that often your new viewers, for example, mine, the new viewers are much higher than the returning ones. But this is also a bad sign, and I know why for me, because my new viewers is much higher than my returning viewers. And this is because I'm currently changing niche. So the people from my subscriber list are watching my videos less and less, and this makes YouTube think that people don't like my videos as much. So what I need to do is gradually find a new audience again, and then that will start to come up. But if I'm making videos that every person likes, a bit like binge watching on Netflix, then those people that are interested will keep coming back, and YouTube will start to share my videos out even more again. So relevancy and people returning to watch more and more videos, because again, YouTube wants people to stay on the platform for as long as possible. But if people keep coming back to your channel, you will see this in terms of a loyal audience who start to comment more. You'll get more comments on your videos. So if you're not getting much comments and engagements, so for example, as I'm changing now, I'm not getting very many comments at all. So until the old moves away and the new moves in, it's not really going to have that level of engagement again. So you need to create the loyal audience. And once you do that, you'll get more comments, you'll see more engagements, you'll get more likes and everything else. And that shows that people are satisfied and enjoying your content. And YouTube really likes this. So this is what we need to be looking at. And again, you can forget all of what I've just said and just focus on the avatar and satisfying them. If you satisfy the human, then you're going to win anyways. But these are the metrics that perhaps you want to be looking at. And finally, we have something I like to call the viral trifecta, which is basically the 3 sort of metrics that you need to look at in terms of videos getting more reach and going viral. So there are things that we still want to try and get right and work towards, but there's no fixed metric that is 100% right. But if you get your click-through rate as high as possible, you get your watch time as high as possible, and then the third main one is, so watch time and engagement, I would say it's sort of combined there. So watch time, the satisfaction part I was talking about, and sort of likes and people coming back. And then the third one is having broad appeal. Now, if you go too niche, then you're only going to get a small amount of views. And that's great if those are highly, if they're valuable to you and you have a product and everything else that you can monetize. Perhaps you're doing real estate and you only want a very small demographic of people to see those videos because they're your ideal customer. And one of those customers is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, then you probably don't care about getting lots of views. It's not the most important thing to you. But going viral, and I've mentioned this in other videos, is not necessarily the best thing for educational channels and everything else anyways. But we all want more views on our videos. And the best way to get this is to have some type of broad appeal. And this is where your niche overlaps with such as trending topics and other things that you can talk about, or taking it out to more broader topics. So if what you're serving is niche, you need to find topics to take it broader, to get it further out there. So if you were talking about yoga for back pain and you wanted to reach an audience that is unaware that yoga is a solution for back pain, then you would just be speaking to the back pain and people that have got the beginnings of back pain. And then you would talk about solutions to that back pain, and then in the video, introduce them to the yoga aspect and then convert them onto more of your content. So you would go broader, and there's ways to find the overlap. So this could be coming back to the baking angle. It could be tips that I used from making cupcakes to make my sourdough better. So this would bring a broader audience in potentially of the cupcake audience, or people that are just curious to know what that secret is and then want to know more about the baking of the sourdough. So that's not necessarily the best example. But if you're just going too niche and you're talking about a very, very narrow, small thing, then obviously you can have high click-through rate, you can have high watch time, you can have high retention and engagement and satisfaction and people coming back, but you're just going to have very low views. And ultimately, the only way to get more views is if the pool of people interested in your video is big enough. So you need to make sure that you are getting the broad appeal. Some people call this the Goldilocks part. So it's obviously not too much of one, not too much of the other, but just right. That little sweet bit in the middle. And that's what you want to get. And that comes with practice. So obviously, if you're just making content for a small audience, you can then find ways to merge and overlap. But again, we've got more training in the community that you could go through to understand how to find those overlapping topics to make them work for your videos and your particular channel. All right, I hope you enjoyed that and got something out of it. If you did, hit the like button. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you inside the next one.